gentlemen and possums. We are Offensive Points, and we are part of the IDP Plus network. Go over to the website because we got subscriptions for 50% off. Use IDP 2025 as your code because those prices are going to go back up once all the casuals get back into this. So go get yourself a nice subscription. We got stuff coming out. Sign up for the Fantasy Football Expo. Tickets are on sale now. We will be there. Josh promised everyone that replies in this chat that he will buy them a beer at
17 beers
bank account with a cap of 17 beers. So we got you covered. It'll be a great time. And guys, today we got Mock Draft 3.0. This is the earliest we've ever been at 3.0 in the season. Loving every minute of it. Always here with Josh and Billy. Josh, Billy, what is up?
How many mock drafts do you think we can actually get in before the draft? Like we got what, 2 more months? I think we could just do all mock drafts.
34 days.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Just keep doing mock drafts.
Yeah, I think we got to do some more mock drafts.
64, 2 a day.
Yeah, I think so. Just keep changing them up too, like completely different drafts. No, super excited. This is after free agency. We kind of have more of an idea of what people are going after. So I feel like usually this should be the more accurate one, but for some reason our first one is always the most accurate. So maybe go back and look at mock draft 1.0 after this. So
That's
I mean, you're not wrong.
Confused at this point, but
You're not wrong. I don't, I think this is probably the smartest thing to do here, is wait till free agency's over, do another mock draft. We probably won't do another one until April, just keeping it real with the audience out there. But I think it's important to, we have a little bit clearer understanding of who needs what and what positions and all that. So, without further ado, boys, you just want to get into this?
let's get into it.
we have to.
All right. First pick on the clock is the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans did not add a quarterback in free agency. We still have Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and yada yada all out there. I don't think that's going to change the pick. I think it's going to be Cam Ward. What do you guys think?
So I keep seeing them mocked to trade this pick to the Giants and hope that the Browns don't go after a quarterback, I guess. I don't see any other realm of possibility where they don't just go get Cam Ward, unless they like Shador better, which I'm sure they have their mind made up. And, the whole floating the pick out there was fun up until free agency, and now it's like, okay, everyone knows you need a quarterback now. So it's like you're not getting it unless you're getting a quarterback out of it, which I guess Kirk Cousins, could be traded and moved for this pick, hypothetically. I mean,
true. No, they would not trade this pick for that.
Well, and their pick, and Atlanta's pick, which is what, the 14th pick, something like that.
Yeah, I would just stay at 1.
Because what do Russ and Aaron Rodgers really do for you right now? If you're Tennessee, I mean, you're not winning your division, most likely. I don't know. It's got to be Cam Ward. They're sitting here looking at the Giants. They're looking at the Steelers, and they're like, shit, that's going to be us next year if we kick the can down the road. So, yeah, I think we're going Cam Ward. He immediately gives them a good offense, okay offense.
This is the right move. Will it happen?
Yeah, that's kind of the problem here is, do they make the correct move or do they make the emotional move? Now, if they get a big, gigantic haul, obviously I could see them trading down. But without that, like if they get 2 1s, if they get the Giants one from this year, next year, and maybe the year after, I mean, sure, obviously that would be something that's pretty enticing. But yeah, I don't see him trading out of this pick. So
we can't trade anyway. So Cam Ward is the pick we choose, and that's what matters.
For sure. All right, second pick in the draft is the Cleveland Browns. They did lock up Myles Garrett with a rather large extension after a bizarre farewell that he gave, just to turn around and be like, you know what? The money's nice, though. I'll take the money and just go ahead and stay in Cleveland anyway. We kind of thought that meant for sure Abdul Carter. I do think it would be nasty for Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter to be on the same team, but what are you guys thinking? Joe?
My pick here is Abdul Carter. You're the Cleveland Browns. You have to remind yourself this, and you suck, every single year. You're not going to want to deal with the drama that Deion's going to bring to this team. I don't know. I think what you do is you try to make a play for Kirk, or at least Carson Wentz, if that's the direction you really want to go. Get Abdul Carter and just make the defense absolutely nasty. They're going to have to get a running back. They've got a bunch of other pieces on this team. They're not really a quarterback away, so give me Abdul Carter and pair him with Myles Garrett. Let's have fun.
See, I disagree with y'all. I think Abdul Carter slips here. I don't think he makes it here just because they did just lock up Myles Garrett. And while it would be super fun to have two edge rushers, it's not a need for them. What is a need for them is someone who's the best draft pick or at least athletic pick that they can grab right here, and it'd be Travis Hunter. I think that's the future of this organization is getting someone to be able to sell jerseys for at this point because they're not winning a championship anytime soon. And as sucky as it would be for Travis Hunter, bro, I'm pretty sure you're a Cleveland Brown.
So the only thing okay, so here is something that needs to be thought about at least, which is this is kind of crazy that we're even talking about it. The Browns are currently so cash strapped by the cap that even if they wanted to draft a quarterback, they couldn't technically afford the pick. Which is crazy to say, but they can't afford it. They can't afford Travis Hunter, especially if they sign him as a cornerback. And obviously they can assign Abdul Carter, but they can't sign Travis Hunter as a wide receiver, I don't think. And I know they can't sign a quarterback at the current cap that they're under. Obviously there's a long time between now and the draft, but it's funny to me that they're in that bad of a hellhole that
it's two players worth third contracts on their team.
They couldn't even really draft. Yeah, because of what they did with Myles Garrett, they can't take a quarterback now. So
that's dumb. So just trade back
hilarious
3 or 4 times and see what the hell happens. Right?
Honestly, this is probably the biggest trade down scenario that I could see because they can still get one of the top 5-6 players. This is going to be whatever team wants to jump up there ahead of the Giants to grab a quarterback, and there's plenty of teams that are willing to do it. I think, but all right, we can
seem to move heaven and earth to move up one spot to make sure that doesn't happen. But
yeah,
they start getting wind of it. Trade up.
I think we do Abdul Carter.
I don't think that this pick goes here. I just want to clarify that for the record, number 2 is not Abdul Carter, but it will be.
It seems odd, but I don't know.
Abdul Carter's not going to get you fired.
They need offense though, and I think Travis Hunter, although listed as a defender at the moment, is also an offensive weapon. So,
yeah. All right. Pick number 3 is the New York Giants. They need a quarterback pretty badly. There's been rumors of Russ and Aaron Rodgers and yada 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 yada. I think if you have Shedeur Sanders sitting right there, gonna be hard to pass up on that. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, Shedeur is the obvious answer here with this draft. We're not doing any trades, so this is Shedeur Sanders. But I think they might even possibly trade up to Tennessee. They still got that conversation of the swap going on, and I don't know what Tennessee is going to do, but I think Shedeur or Cam is going to this team, and with our draft board, Shedeur's here.
Yeah,
a lot of mocks have him slipping, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem.
Shane and Dable are playing for their jobs. They're coaching for their jobs. Yeah. You have to have a quarterback on this team, and it's not Aaron Rodgers, and it's not going to be Russell Wilson. They're going to save your job. So get Shedeur. He's media ready. He's been doing this shit since high school. Get him in the Big Apple. He can handle the media. He'll be good to go.
Yeah, the problem with Shedeur is if he doesn't get taken by the Giants, I'm not sure we see him for a while because there's none of these teams that need to get a quarterback right away. Maybe the Jets, but they need so much other stuff. I don't know if they would even bother going this way, and they just got Fields. So I think they would like to at least let that experiment run out. So Shedeur could be sitting if he doesn't get taken here. So I think
the Jets are hoping that Milroe or Jackson Dart slip to the second round so they can have a project quarterback as well.
Yeah.
As Fields.
Which is probably smart for them, by the way. Just saying, don't bring Shedeur in.
Yeah, I think Milroe is probably their target, if I had to guess, just so they have 2 of the similar QBs. But that's just my guess. But so Shedeur to the Giants, we good with that?
We will go Shedeur to the Giants.
And now this is where everything starts getting spicy.
All right, pick number 4 is the New England Patriots. Josh, you seem like you want to add into the spiciness here with the Patriots. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so a lot of people mocking offensive linemen here, which makes sense, but they have no wide receiver. I've also seen Tet slipping down the board as well. Travis Hunter would have made sense. I think we even did this on our mock draft 2.0. We were like, Travis Hunter would make sense as long as they go get a wide receiver in free agency. Well, they didn't go get a wide receiver in free agency. So now there's still rumors they're going to try to trade for one. I've seen crazy rumors about getting A.J. Brown and other star receivers from teams that nobody's going to just give them to the Patriots. So you kind of have to draft a wide receiver. But this is that weird spot where is Travis Hunter a wide receiver? We don't know. So I want to say it's Travis Hunter because I feel like this is best fantasy value that you're ever going to get out of Travis Hunter is on a team with no other wide receivers, so you know he's going to play offense and defense, or at least more offense. But Tet is kind of like arguably the number one wide receiver overall. So I don't know. One of those two. I'll vote with what you guys vote.
Joe?
It's got to be Travis Hunter. He's the best player, arguably, in the draft. He says he wants to play cornerback. They did sign Carlton Davis. They've got, obviously Christian Gonzalez there, so he can fill in at cornerback in a pinch, but he can step in and be your wide receiver. They had Diggs in for a meeting, so, you could sign Diggs, and Travis Hunter could be your number 2 out there. It's way better than having Mac Hollins go into your, Demario Douglas and Mac Hollins and Jalen Polk. So I think it's Travis Hunter, and you just say, hey, man, we're going to play you at offense, and you can fill in on defense when Carlton Davis gets hurt, because it always seems like he does.
Okay, seems about right. I mean, I think it's got to be Travis Hunter. I don't see why we would go anywhere different than that. He's probably the best player in the draft. I think he's going to play at wide receiver more than he's going to play at cornerback if he goes here.
Yeah,
but
right.
At the same time, like, I don't know. This is such a weird draft, especially in the top 5, that I don't really know what they do. I'm falling out of love with Tet, by the way, so I'm probably not going to be the one coming up for him. But at the same time, I think it's just Travis Hunter. Let's not overthink it.
I've seen Tet slip down to like the bottom of the first round at this point, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. But like,
well, the problem is he is a jump ball specialist, and that's about it. And that's concerning if you're going to take him high in the first round.
And McShay had him going to the Chargers at 22.
Yeah, which is exactly the problem that they would literally recreate the Quentin Johnston problem. Like that easily could be the path that Tet McMillan also takes in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think Travis Hunter's the play here. I could also see this being a trade down candidate because there are wide receivers that they could get later. Maybe it even is Tet later. And maybe they can recoup some capital and get a couple wide receivers out of this draft, which I wouldn't be shocked if they did. But for the time being, best available is Travis Hunter, and that's what they should.
Well, they do still need O-line, so I think they either take Travis Hunter or they go after like Campbell or Mbembu or somebody like that. Like I don't think they trade down. I think they either take best O-lineman or best wide receiver. So one of the two at this point. Yeah. But we'll go Travis Hunter. I think that's what they should do. That's the fun pick. Let's be fun, guys. That's what we want to do.
It is fun, but I just don't know what's going to happen, and I don't see that working. I honestly I almost hate it as much as Travis Hunter going to the Browns or the Patriots. Just feels like a waste. Obviously, I guess the Patriots at least have a quarterback on the horizon.
Yeah, that's true. All right, pick number 5 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This could go anywhere, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't really know. They need receiving talent now, so that is one of the stories of free agency is they kind of, kicked Christian Kirk out of town. They kicked Evan Ingram out of town, and they've all of a sudden left Brian Thomas Jr. alone with 450 targets, basically, by himself. So we could see a wide receiver here. It's way too early to take Tyler Warren, but he would make sense for this team.
Is it too early to grab Warren? I mean, I agree. While I agree to don't draft a tight end this early, we did it with Pitts, and
yeah, exactly. I think that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. But
at the same time, is it though? Maybe that's why they did ship Ingram out. Maybe they know what they're getting in Warren, and they said, "Let's do it."
I don't know, Joe. What is your thoughts on this?
I mean, pretty much everyone has Mason Graham going here. It makes a ton 100%. Of sense. Put him right in the middle of it with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen right there. You have a mean defensive line. He can start right away for you. I don't think they overthink this one too much.
Yeah, I think Mason Graham's the actual pick, but I'm just saying, like, with the whole Ingram trade, it's like, I don't know, Warren, this is about as early as he's going, but, we're just talking about
It
best availables. We've had the best availables plus Shadur at this point.
it has made it interesting at least because it does make it seem like they're going to go some offense, and like Liam Cohen's coming in, very offensive guy. So maybe they're thinking that way, but at the same time, like
That defense is pretty
hard to
hot garbage. They need to just boost
yeah.
it up.
It's about time they did that. So I mean, I'm fine with Mason Graham. That makes the most sense. Is it the most fun? Probably not,
Nah,
but
it is what they're probably going to do, though.
for sure.
So
All
Mason
right.
Graham to the Jaguars.
Pick 6 is the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm on the Ashton Genty train right now in Vegas. It's either Chicago or the Raiders are favored to get Ashton Genty. I don't think he makes it all the way down to the Bears. I think he gets taken right here. That's my pick.
Raheem Mostert, Sincere McCormick, Zamir White, Dylan Labe, Chris Collier, and Isaiah Spiller, which we found Isaiah Spiller. That is their roster of running backs. Their wide receivers are pretty bad as well, but I feel like why would they not go get the flashiest name in the draft with Genty? My vote's Genty as well. Sorry, Joe. I know you'd hope he'd make it to the Bears.
Well, I'm gonna at least have a word here because I don't know. Since we're listing players, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid. This team has no defense to remotely speak of. They have 0 linebackers. Jack Jones is not a lockdown corner by any means. You need a cornerback to stop these guys. Ashton Genty and his 80 yards and a touchdown he's going to put up behind that horrible, horrible offensive line is not going to do a damn thing for your team. Oh, and also, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, Chip Kelly, just spent a year evaluating Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, which they can get at the 38th pick. So for them to invest in a running back at this moment is horrible.
That's fair.
Still Ashton Genty.
No, it's Will Johnson or it's Jalen Walker. I'll give you guys a pick between those two if you want to change your mind.
I'll pick Ashton Genty still.
Okay.
I would pick Genty as well.
I'm gonna double down, and if we don't already have
an
a fireball
anchovy
now.
live on air.
Do you not like anchovies?
No, I
That's
hate
not really.
anchovies.
Oh, that's not a bet for me, man. I'd just eat an anchovy.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
weird
dude,
because you like
I-
olives. You like olives, but you don't
yeah.
like anchovies. Wild to me.
True.
Billy, did that change your mind at all? Joe's
No, it didn't.
gambling?
It's
Okay.
Ashton Genty. I'm full bore at this point. All right, pick number 7 is the New York Jets. Sign Justin Fields. That's smart. They need to get a wide receiver. That would be helpful. They need to get a lineman. They need defensive linemen. They just basically need a lot on this team. Josh, who are you thinking would save the Jets here?
Save? Start helping. How about that? So my thing is I actually saw Abdul Carter going to the Jets a lot in mock drafts lately, and I kind of agree with it. I think he slips off the board a lot further than we think he does. Just because I've seen like Jackson Dart floating in the top 5, which is silly, but it's a conversation that it needs to be had at some point. But I think what they should do is Will Campbell. Just go get the best tackle available. They need to build up this. Then if they're going to try to get Fields to be anything, they need to have offensive line to protect him. Tet would be super fun, but I just don't see that being an absolute need with Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall. They got their playmakers. They can go get a wide receiver later. I think it's offensive tackle, get the best available.
Okay. Joe?
I think it's Membu. I think Will Campbell's the short arm thing is gonna hurt him. So I think.
Okay, sorry, I forgot we haven't chose Membu yet. One or the other.
Pop up. No, I agree with you. I just think that Will Campbell thing is gonna drop him.
So they have a defensive coach. So I know that I'm not, I can't put all the eggs in the basket of the coach comes in and immediately picks players that he wants because that's not necessarily going to happen. But it's hard for me to not think that he wouldn't at least try to pitch getting a defensive linemen in there, which obviously the one to take we've already gotten off the board with Mason Graham. But I guess we can go O-line here. I guess that's the make good if you all want.
I think, like I said, this is where I have Abdul Carter going, and I think that's exactly where he goes. I think he goes to the slip, and then
Dude, if he falls all the way to 7, I think people will have a panic attack. Like, I think there will be trade ups to get him before now.
I hope there is, but personally, at this point, we can go Membu. I don't really care, but I was just going to say tackle regardless.
Yeah, we can go. I guess we can go Membu. Yeah.
Well, Missouri's not doing so great in basketball, but their lineman's getting drafted in the top 10, so that's good.
Pick number 8 is the Carolina Panthers, another team that needs quite a bit. Again, another team I think needs defensive linemen a little bit. They thought they had Josh's boy from the Eagles, but that fell through before he could get it, and he ended up with the Patriots. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this seems like a linebacker, defensive lineman spot to me.
Cannot believe they didn't just sign Brian Burns, by the way. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but it's just wild to me that they let him walk. I think Jalen Walker, Mason Graham's gone. Who's the other interior from Kenneth Grant? Something like that. D-line help. I think it's probably more like an edge rusher, though.
Yeah, I mean, they missed out on Milton. They got Bobby Brown. I don't know. I think Jalen Walker goes here. He's a North Carolina kid. He can play every position on that front. Let's get some excitement in there to go with Trevin Wallace. I would go Jalen Walker.
Where is he? Why is he not in here? 30? Okay. Oh, I guess they have him as a linebacker. That's not bad.
Jalen Walker is a good pick.
I thought he was more of an edge rusher, though.
Like, off ball and edge. You can do it both.
Oh, that's best case scenario for them.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker to the Panthers.
All right, pick number 9 is Rougarous Saints. It's another one of those teams where it's like I don't know what could fix them right away, but I would probably pick an edge rusher if I'm them. My pick would be Mykel Williams, but I'm willing to listen to anything.
It's either that or corner. I didn't really have a clear-cut pick here. Their corners could use a little bit of help, though. I don't think they have a second corner at the moment on the other side of Kool-Aid, and I think that's the play here is to boost and have 2 guys for hopefully long-term. But edge is also an issue here. I mean, can't run Curtis Granderson forever.
And then, I don't know, I originally had them as tight end, but they went and gave Juwan Johnson $10 million a year, which makes no sense to me. I'm going to go Shamar Stewart just because he's, like 290 pounds. He's an athletic freak of nature, and they're about to lose Cam Jordan. So let's just go ahead and get Cam Jordan 2-0 in there.
He's a good pick. I mean, he dominated the combine. I don't think anybody's going to overlook that. I mean, that's what happened with Nolan Smith his year when he went in and had a near perfect 10 at the combine. I think Shamar Stewart's near perfect 10 will probably boost him up the board as well. I actually could see that happening.
You talking about Super Bowl MVP Nolan Smith?
I don't know if he won an MVP, but you could say that he did okay.
Playoff MVP? Sorry, my bad.
The Saints just seem like a team to value QB pressures more than sacks. So,
yeah, I just feel like running Cameron Jordan and Carl Granderson for another year seems like just such a terrible idea. So I'm good with you say Shamar Stewart.
That'd be mine.
Yes.
I like Mykel too.
Actually, I think I had Mykel in my
either one, Mykel or Stewart, either one.
But
my pick. Okay, we can do that. See, Joe, you were worried so worried that we were going away from your picks in the last draft. Here you are. You got all the picks going in your favor now.
All the picks
except for Genty.
His Bears. All right, pick 10 is the Chicago Bears. Joe, your team had decided that they're going to revamp the O-line through the free agency. Do they continue to build on that O-line with a couple of guys here? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
really...
There
holes left?
This is the first time we can really say that we can take just about anybody. I would love to see us go edge here. But I think since Genty is gone, even though he will be a Bear in real life, then I don't know. There's a lot of guys I'd like to see go here. Give me Kelvin Banks from Texas. Braxton Jones can have an opportunity to keep that job, but Kelvin Banks is waiting in the wing, and he has guard experience, so he could kick inside if someone gets hurt. Give me Kelvin Banks.
Plus, he's in the contract here, so I mean.
All right. Bold take here is Tyler Warren. This is where Tyler goes if he's still on the board. Komet is fine. It's fine, but
like $13 million a year.
Yeah, who cares? He's only going to be there for another couple years. Warren will be there for the future. Have 2 tight ends. Have more receivers for the guy. Have more people to block. Have more people to run. I think they missed out on Genty. They go for Tyler Warren.
Is Tyler Warren a blocker, though?
I don't know. We can figure it out, though.
I mean, he is a versatile weapon for him, but I
don't know. That wasn't in his versatility that I've heard of. But to be fair, I assume he knows how to block as well if he's going to be on the field all the time.
We don't need a Kyle Juszczyk. We need a guy.
I don't know. I think you do. I think a Tyler Warren blocking for Swift, and not to mention getting the ball himself, and then going and catching out of the backfield, and it would just be the Swiss Army knife that Taysom Hill was supposed to be, maybe more consistently in the future instead of the one game a year.
So I was reading through Todd McShay's draft today. He had Omarion Hampton going to the Bears at 10.
I've seen Hampton.
Are you serious?
Way too early, actually, but I do. He's going to go in the first round.
I like Omarion Hampton, and I do think he could go up here. It's just not into the Bears. I feel like that seems a little strong.
There's a lot of running back needy teams that didn't address it in free agency. So
I heard in a DeMarco Murray comp, which I really like for Omarion Hampton. I've been trying to put my finger on it, and
I hate comps personally, but
I do too. But like, I try to at least think about it. You know,
might be Tyreek Hill. Who knows? All right. Well, I'm going to disregard Josh's Tyler Warren. It's definitely going to be a tackle or a O lineman. Do you not think it'll be Will Campbell? You think they would for sure go Kelvin Banks?
They just redid that already.
Because they don't have anybody on the left side.
If they're not going offense, if they're not going weapon on offense, they're going defensive line. Because they did not address that.
No, they have an offensive coach who just came over because he wins O-line trenches.
Traded for 3 different offensive linemen. They're not going to pick on another one.
They play 5. They don't play 3. Like he still has 6
of them. And
I was about to say, and they still have one questionable one in Braxton Jones on the O-line. They have 2 guys here that are top 10 players potentially.
I guess Odeyingbo is the answer to the second edge rusher. They're not going to go after at all. They're just going to disregard that, and that's perfectly fine now.
They'll pick somebody in the second round.
I think they go edge if they don't do my fun pick.
O-line it is.
Is that what we're doing, for real?
I guess we're doing Kelvin Banks. Yes. I don't know how you don't think this isn't a smart
fireball bet that they don't grab a O-line at 10.
Do you think they fixed they slightly upgraded their O-line in free agency?
They're taking JT, but you guys screwed
They still need to build the rest of the O-line out.
I personally disagree.
All right, next team is pick 11, San Francisco 49ers. They need O-line like nobody's business. This team is going to need a lot of things here in a few short years, I feel. But right now, I think I feel comfortable with them taking Will Campbell. But I'm willing to listen.
Will Campbell, or who's the guard that's going to go high? Because I don't know exactly what they need more. Booker. One of the 2, I'd say, because they gotta give Purdy some help long term. Because
dude, Trent Williams is 37 years old.
That's amazing.
Holy bleep! Talk about quarterbacks. That guy has to bend down in a squat every single snap. He's playing at 37. Can you even imagine like his knees? Like they're probably metal by now.
Well, isn't Clive Campbell 39 or something crazy? Like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like defense is just a little bit different than offense because you're an offensive line. You're on the field every play.
And Trent Williams is an elite guy. And it's not, Calais Campbell's falling off a little bit.
We all good with Will Campbell for the 49ers?
I feel like that's the pick they make. It's not him. It's going to be Mimbu, whichever one doesn't get taken.
Okay.
Go Will Campbell.
There it is. We went 3 offensive tackles in the top 11. You guys are super fun.
Well, we'll be done with them for a little bit. All right, next pick on the clock is the Dallas Cowboys. They did sign a couple of running backs. I don't think that takes them out of the pick. My pick would be Omari and Hampton. It really would. I think that they're going to try to get their running back of the future.
I think they do that in the second
right
round.
now.
I don't think they try to do that right now with what they just did in the offseason. I know they're not paying him anything.
They didn't do much. They didn't do enough to make me think that they're not thinking about running back.
I agree, but I think they'll go get someone else. They're not going for the star anymore. They know they're not getting Genty, and I feel like they're not wasting. I mean, Jerry Jones is pretty dumb, but I don't think he's that dumb, and that's saying something.
Matthew Golden is my vote. I truthfully believe that he will go. He will be the
Golden
first
will not go before Ted
I
McMillan.
promise you he will. You can believe that. It's
He
fine,
might.
but
I mean,
promise you he will.
I've seen it in mocks now. A lot of people are wondering why Golden's not the number one.
He fits with CD.
Well, what's your pick, Josh? All right, since you
I got
taking a dump on our picks.
Jihad
Who?
Campbell. Jihad Campbell. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Am I pronouncing it incorrectly?
So a linebacker?
Yep, that's what they do. They draft linebackers.
Just tear his pec. And
Yeah,
they
it shouldn't.
signed-
They say it's not going to
Murray.
affect his draft
They
stock.
traded for Murray. They signed Sanborn.
I don't think
Sanborn's
linebacker.
not good,
Edge
though.
rusher maybe, but I don't think it's gonna be linebacker. They could even bring back
are we-
Kendricks for one
are
more
we-
year.
Are we talking like Sanborn's a good linebacker? Like he's a starting linebacker?
Sanborn,
He's serviceable.
if
He has
didn't have
never
Edmonds and
started.
Edwards, he would have been starting.
They still have Maurice Leafau, who they drafted last
Who's
year.
Not great either. And Overshown's the only good
They
one
just
on the team. He's
drafted him.
injured. He did nothing. Well, it's by your exact
thought they
logic,
would go-
Nolan Smith was nothing because he didn't do anything. Like
Before free agency, I thought Jihad Campbell was the pick here, but they signed those two guys and the torn pack. Really,
that's depth, man. That's just some backup linebackers they got on their team.
All right, so the truth is we have no clue what the Cowboys are going to do, it sounds like. Because I don't know.
I'm not getting into your all silly. I would go Tet because I feel like that seems like something they would actually do.
let's
I don't
go.
know if I could
Hampton.
do that.
It's a fantasy football podcast.
Oh my god, Hampton's not going. This is so silly. Okay, Omarion Hampton, you're a Cowboy. Good luck with your three-headed backfield.
It's not three-headed. It's one guy. Like, this is literally what Bucky Irving walked into. They're just taking him 2 rounds earlier.
Javonte and Miles Sanders are much better than Rashad White and.
That is, you are so lying. You think that Miles Sanders' current day is better than Rashad White?
No, I think Javonte is better than Rashad White. I think Miles Sanders is better than third guy.
Sean
Can't even remember his name.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
can't even remember
these
his name.
guys might not even
Best
make
guy
the
ever.
opening roster. Like, they might even make the first week roster. They might cut them before then. That's how little money is involved with those guys.
While I agree that's possible, I feel like they don't draft a top 10 running back. So I think that they go for, a Judkins or a Neal later.
They might.
I think
They might. All right, pick 13 is the Dolphins, who need O-line, but we've taken all the O-linemen that are pretty much that would go this high. So there's actually an interesting spot here. Would we go with potentially Barron, or are you guys thinking D lineman? They need a lot.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is that Mike Green, Michael Williams spot. I know that edge rusher is not on their little tab here, but I think they could use a nice edge rusher to complement this
Safety
team.
also could be a thing here. They let Javon Holland walk, and they didn't sign Poyer back yet, if they're going to. So they don't have a safety.
Amen Warry's really fun, but I don't think he actually goes this high. I think he just had a really good combine. I think he's more
A really
than
good
20.
combine. That's true. Nolan Smith had an amazing combine. He only got to, 29, 30? 30? Like, so, I mean, that you're telling the truth there. That did happen.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I think Starks probably even gets drafted above him, unfortunately.
Could be
Or
Starks.
round.
He can get
Starks
drafted
could go
here.
too. I mean, safety is a need for them, I will say. I mean, they're working with some scrubs right now. So safety makes a lot of sense for this team, but I just feel like edge rusher is what they're going to end up doing. Jalen Phillips and Matt Dickerson are their roster. Maybe Chop Robinson. It needs some help. And then not to mention Wilkins is gone, is gone. And it's just like something, maybe even interior D-line would work. But
Yeah.
what do we got left? Kenneth Grant.
I had Tyler Booker here, but I also had Will Johnson going earlier. And I love Jade. I love Will Johnson. I think they'd both be slam dunks here. Or Booker because, Tua looked like this again last year. So they should stop.
Storm Duck is currently a projected starter for this team, so corner makes sense too.
Never a good time when Storm Duck. Elite name, not necessarily an elite corner.
Haven't seen it yet. So you want to go corner?
Sure.
Which do you like better, Johnson or Barron?
I like Will Johnson better, but I understand Barron's.
Barron gives you more versatility, and they are lacking a lot of that. But Will Johnson shuts down a side of the field, so I would say Will Johnson here.
Will Johnson it is on the Dolphins. Sorry, guy.
Willie. All right, pick 14 is the Colts. I'm going to stop kidding myself. They're taking Tyler Warren. That's
Yeah, because Tyler Warren won't go before this at all. There's no way.
He won't. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we kind of talked ourselves into maybe the Jaguars thinking about it. But other than them, I think it's got to be Tyler Warren. He's not going to the Bengals. They signed back, what's his name? He's not going to go to Denver. They decided to go get Ingram. So this is the most logical spot for him to end up.
About 4 picks too late, but I'm in on it.
They did ship away Fries and Kelly, so it could be Booker. But I like Warren.
The Colts are another team that could go in any route, too. Like, they need a lot.
Yeah, and apparently last year they did try to trade up for Brock Bowers, so maybe this would just be a make good for that, like missing out on him.
Fair. I mean, what is even on their team? Jelani Woods is still there? Wow. All right. Yeah, Tyler Warren it is. Honestly, this probably makes the most sense for fantasy stock for him.
Quarterback-wise, though, I don't know.
That's fair.
That's a mixed bag quarterback-wise there, but we'll get into that.
Same guy.
We got to look at what the odds are for Daniel Jones to be the Week 1 starter, because I want that.
I don't think they're that far off from being
they're the exact same guy. Once one throws a pick, just put the other one in.
I think one of them makes a lot of mistakes in one level of the game, and the other makes a lot of mistakes in a different level of the game. Like together, maybe they could be a B plus, but apart, they're D's.
Can they play as best. One? If they do like the 3-legged race where they tie one of their legs together, can they just be the same guy?
That'd be interesting. I wonder if they'd allow that. Don't know. All right, on to pick 15 is the Falcons. Could go a lot of different directions here. I think edge rusher would probably make the most sense, though.
Yeah, I think this is also a spot for Jihad Campbell. I know that
could be
there's the injury concern or whatever, but from what I've heard, it's not going to affect his draft stock, and he's still being mocked right around here, if not higher. So Campbell could be on the board. Pierce, I know he's supposed to slip down the board as well, and then the Mike Green. I personally would say Mike Green or what's the other guy? Michael Williams.
Yeah.
Joe?
I could see linebacker. I just, they signed Divine Dablo. They have Caden Ellis. I don't know.
Those aren't good linebackers.
I mean, Ellis was pretty fantastic last
Ellis was good.
They've got a shell of Troy Anderson, the one that has like a 3 beat per minute pulse. Give me James Pierce. I think James Pierce is
okay.
2 years ago, he was projected to be the number 1 pick, and then, now he's slipped. And I think after that showing at the combine, the 4.49 or 4.48 or whatever he ran, I think he's gonna.
They lost Landman in free agency, and I really just feel like this is a jihad spot. But I'm cool with Pierce too, because I feel like Pierce should not make it past this. Unfortunately, I do think he will.
Let's just put it this way. Either way, I think it's probably going to be either a linebacker or edge rusher. I don't think they go. I know that PFF wants to get people to mock a wide receiver here, but I think it just makes the most sense for them to go for the defense. That's the problem with this team.
Yeah, and if we want this to be a realistic draft, we should really draft Ted McMillan soon because he's not going to make it this far.
I don't know. Like I'm starting. I don't know. We'll get to it. All right. Yeah. Let's go Pierce. Let's go Pierce. All right. Next on the board, pick 16 is the Arizona Cardinals. Probably a Booker spot if we're being honest. I know it's boring, but they do need one.
Yeah. I could see Walter Nolan here. I could see Matthew Golden here. I mean, if you sign Josh Sweat, one of the reasons he was so effective was because he had those hulking dudes next to him and on the Eagles that shoot up a lot of the offensive line. So I don't know. They don't have anyone on the interior in Arizona. So
Their interior on both sides are awful, and that's why I had Ken Grant going here personally. But
that would be Kenneth Grant would be a dream for them to get here, I guess, too. So
I mean, the D line is just so abysmal.
yeah.
Poor Josh Sweat, just gonna rot on that team.
it's horrible. Give me Matthew Golden. Double dipping at wide receiver.
All right.
Number one, we don't even have a wide receiver off the board technically at the moment, and I just think that's crazy talk. But Arizona.
I don't think this is a good draft, and I think by the time we actually get to the draft, we're gonna be living in the real world rather than the fantasy world.
Even though it's not a good draft, people are still gonna draft wide receivers high, even if they don't like Tet or they don't like whatever.
I don't know.
So anyway, what are we going with? Going guard?
Well,
Booker?
Joe's going wide receiver, so it's between me and you here.
All right, we're gonna go.
Okay, Booker, Grant. I mean, both of them are fine. I thought Grant was a good call.
I personally think Grant's their play.
I think Grant's a fine call.
Okay. I was actually going to yours, but I'll take mine. That's fine.
That's fine. All right, pick 17 is the Bengals, who decided to give every dollar in their bank account to the two wide receivers and Joe Burrow.
They trade the pick because they can't afford it.
This would make the most sense for Tet McMillan. No, I'm just kidding. I do think this is where we see Jihad Campbell go. I definitely could see them. They need defense. Look, I know that the jokes are going to be abound about how they can't pay anybody, but I mean, they have to get one, especially if they're going to let Trey Henderson walk too. That might mean edge rusher, but I'm going to go Campbell. I think that's the smartest pick for them.
I had the other corner going here. Barron, yeah, which we picked, right? Or no, sorry.
No, he's still there.
I had Will Johnson, so Jahdae Barron, I think, would be the play here. Corners are fine, but I think that if you're going to stop, this team's they're going to be scoring, so other teams are going to be throwing on them, I imagine. I mean,
that's true.
The jokes are that it's going to be 90-90 each game. So, personally, I think that going after a good corner would be the best play, but...
Joe?
Josh might have talked me into corner. I had Mike Green go here because even if Hendrickson, stays, which I don't know how they get that deal done.
I don't either.
Also, I mean, Hubbard retired, so you got to have someone else out there. And
I'm 100% willing to draft an edge here, too, if that's the consensus, because we know that gap is already there with Hubbard, and then the Hendrickson looming trade talks is not great either.
Yeah, maybe it is Mike Green. I mean, that might be the pick, actually. I forgot about the retirement of Hubbard.
I did forget about Hubbard, too, and honestly, the contract dispute, it's a nightmare, but I just felt like my logic was corner makes the most sense because they're going to be throwing against you, more than likely. So, but I could go with Green as well.
They could get a cornerback maybe in the second. I don't think that's impossible. Let's go Green.
Mike Green, you're a Bengal.
We're going Green on the podcast. All right, pick 18 is the Seattle Seahawks. They probably need a lot of things, let's be honest. But
we didn't go Booker yet. It's Booker.
We didn't go Booker, so I was gonna say this has to be Booker, right? Like at this point, okay.
I could see them going Tet or something. Maybe not Tet. Maybe even Joe's guy, favorite Matthew Golden. I could see them getting another wide receiver. I don't know if
could
they're
happen.
Convinced on Cup, but I don't think it's really.
I feel like wide receiver might be another next year option, which, but I mean, we talked about it off the pod, but man, next year's class wide receiver is woof. Well,
I just think it's more of a second round, get a later guy. Like
I think so. There's a lot of guys like Joe's boy Trey Harris. Like there's a lot of guys you grab later in this draft that would fit in. I think right away as the 3, if that's what they're looking for.
I mean, they got Bobo, and I think they got to give Bobo a chance, right? Like. The way he's
maybe too. They did sign him.
Okay.
They do have him.
We're excited about McCole Hardman on the Packers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
better than Christian Watson, right?
Yeah, I think.
So let's go Booker.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought.
Even though I'm just waiting for them to shock the world and go Tet. That'd be wild. All right, Bucks are on the clock at pick 19. They're definitely getting an edge rusher or linebacker. They cannot afford to go any offense right now because that's not what they need. So this could be a good Campbell spot. I listen to Barron. I listen to Starks. I listen to Inamore. I listen to anybody on defense, honestly.
It's
Like,
the end of the Campbell slip. I mean, there is nobody other than the shell of Levante David and the linebacker role.
yeah,
So
signing
guys
him
still-
back made me a little concerned for them.
I love their edge
Not that
rushers.
he's not bad, but
I know that they're not like great. Like I could see them going edge, but like their edge rushers actually as a team, as a unit is really good, or like can be really good. Hopefully Diaby and Cansey can live up to their names. But getting Reddick in there too is really fun. I don't think they go edge as
Yeah.
high. It almost feels like linebacker has to be the play here.
Yeah,
I'm down. Okay. Campbell
That's
it is.
I'm with
This has gotten a lot easier after free agency, to be honest with you. All right, next team on the clock is the Denver Broncos. Brought in Evan Ingram, kind of kicked Colston Loveland out the door for who we picked in our last two mocks. So
People have
makes
two
for it. I mean, people do. I don't think the Broncos are going to see that as their main thing here. I actually think this is where we see the Ted McMillan slide in,
There's
personally.
no way Ted McMillan makes it this far, but if he does, he's going to the Broncos. Whether he's a replacement for Sutton or he is running
He
alongside.
literally
Sutton.
is Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, who
Like,
cares? They're going to get rid of Sutton.
I can see that.
They're just
I can see that.
two of the guys. You could have them run the same route from the same
That's
side.
perfect. On different sides of the field, too. That's better.
I don't mind. I like this is one team with this coach that I wouldn't mind seeing Tet go to. Like, I don't want him to go to a bad coach that's going to use him improperly. If he goes to Sean Payton, I feel pretty good about how he's going to get used.
Thank God we agree on Ted McMillan finally going.
Yeah.
Joe, did
Well,
you have
again,
another-
free agency's made this super easy to me. I have no problems.
Go for
Joe?
it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Go for it.
Ted it is. All right, pick 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. I know it's boring. I think Starks are Inamore. I'm going to get this by the time the draft goes, but I think that's the direction they head, personally.
I wholeheartedly disagree. So the Steelers, I actually had them mocking to go grab Omarion Hampton here to pair along with Warren. But since we already kicked him to the curb for some weird reason, like the Cowboys are going to draft him, I think
Correct.
it's Jackson Dart. I think it's Jackson Dart.
Really? They
No
make that
quarterback.
same exact mistake again that they did with Kenny Pickett?
100% do. I think they also try to develop him by either getting Russ back or whether it's Rodgers for the year and also go get Jackson Dart. But I don't know how Rodgers would feel about
That would hurt my soul.
That's
I mean, I don't think
actually
you're wrong.
probably
I'm just saying it would hurt my soul.
One of Rodgers' conditions is probably you don't draft a quarterback this year, so I can have 2
I
years.
guarantee it.
Yeah. So personally, I just feel like this Dart is right here. Like it makes the most sense. They need a quarterback. They don't even have one right now, but I imagine they will have at least something to start. But if they don't, then they're definitely going Dart. Like it's even worse.
That's exactly who I had. I mean, you can't trade
It's
for
Dart?
DK. You can't trade for DK. We'll see if Pickens is on this team come training camp season, whatever. But you can't trade and put up what you put up for DK and not have a quarterback to start.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just think they're going to bring Russ back. Like, I think we're overthinking it, but I mean,
think they will bring Russ back as well, especially if they go Dart. Like they'll need someone to try to develop him, even though it'll just be the same thing as Fields. Like it'll be like, oh, we're going to start
Quarterbacks
Russ
next year.
until it doesn't work.
The free
Actually,
agent
this should-
quarterbacks next year suck, and then the draft isn't that great. So yeah, get your guy now. Give him a year to develop. I mean, Jackson Dart is not bad.
I
as
think he
everyone
can be
thinks.
something if given the right development.
I think we are talking ourselves into Kenny Pickett again with the Steelers. I think that they're doing the exact same thing they did that
I don't
draft.
think Kenny Pickett's that bad. I think Kenny Pickett had a bum deal because he just walked.
He was just mid, and that was the problem. That's the problem we have here. I think Jackson Dart is okay. He's just mid. He's not good. He's just mid.
I agree.
guy.
I don't think it's a great pick. I just think it's what they're gonna do. But
Okay.
also,
Well, let's pick him here. I hope they don't.
Before we get there, I've seen so many Shadur Sanders mocks here, and I'm like, there's no way with all the QB.
He can't fall this far.
No,
Like,
there's
I
no-
don't. I think he might pull out of the draft if he's not drafted by now.
I just don't understand with these mocks where this assumption is that there are actual quarterbacks left for these teams to sign.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is being talked about being a potential starter for the Cleveland Browns right now.
Rodgers
There's two. It's Rodgers.
Jameis Winston's out there. Why would you not just let Jameis Winston roll for a year? Who knows? Maybe
I would love to see Jameis roll for a year. Also,
I would take Jameis over Dart. That's a fact right there.
I would love to have Jameis and Dart. It's fine. Just develop him. Don't start him week 1. That's what it comes down to.
All right. On to the loss.
I'm not done with the quarterback conversation. Aaron Rodgers once again has taken over the offseason, and I just hate it. And it's like almost just wants.
I don't think he actually has. I think people think that he has, and I'm sure they want to like push the narrative. But like, I don't think anybody actually cares where Aaron Rodgers ends up at all.
But he
Minnesota doesn't want him. New York doesn't seem to want him. I don't think there's anybody that wants him.
I don't think anyone will let him like be on their team and just be the QB of the future because he doesn't have a future. He's a vet and he's retiring soon. Sorry. Anyway, we can carry on now.
He's honestly been pretty quiet for Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, he quietly got up to 4,000 yards last year.
Very quiet. Very quiet.
That's true.
Inside
very
joke.
Quiet. All right. Los Angeles Chargers, pick 22. I hate to be the Nepo baby here, but I think it might be Colston Loveland. Like, played for Michigan. He's a guy that Jim Harbaugh wants. They needed tight end on their team. I think he probably fits what the mold they're wanting to do.
Joe, do you want to disagree with Billy for a second?
I'll disagree with him because I think you got Khalil Mack there, who's 35 years old. You got Bosa going to the Bills. You need an edge rusher. I got Donovan Easy going to this team because they need an edge.
So I got Matthew Golden going to this team. Joe, I thought we were on the same page.
Well, I had Tech going to this team originally. I had Golden way gone by now, so
I understand that, but I just feel like there is no number 2 on this team. We got QJ, Rager, Mike Williams back again, which is fine. I think it's actually a good signing for the Chargers because they know how to use him. It's not going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a great third option for him. But I think they go young, get some more wide receivers for Justin Herbert to cook.
All I'll say is last year we thought they were going to go wide receiver, and they didn't because that's not what they want to do with the offense.
They did.
So
They got that.
Yeah. Where'd they get him? Not round 1 where they could have gotten Neighbors. They got him later. And I think that's what's going to happen here again.
Did Neighbors go before, after their pick?
They skipped on Neighbors to get – he went 6.
I didn't realize that.
It was just a year ago.
No, I just didn't realize they had that bad of a draft pick.
Oh. No, they had a fine draft pick. They did exactly what they want to do. Where did the Giants end up? Where did the Chargers end up?
I didn't realize where they were picking. That's all I was saying, dude. Why are you jumping down my throat?
Oh, I thought you meant they made a bad draft pick.
No, they're all great. There's nothing wrong with that. I was just saying I didn't realize that they were that bad last year.
Oh, yeah, they were terrible. No, Staley drove that team into the ground.
Retroactively speaking, how dope would it have been if Neighbors was with Justin Herbert? Oh, my God.
I mean,
they don't want to be a passing team, so no, it wouldn't have been dope. I don't think it would have been very dope at all.
Year, so I personally think it'd be fine.
You're saying.
When you guys watch the Chargers play for an entire year, they clearly want to be a running team. They don't need a wide receiver. They don't want one. Like Glad McConkey's fine for what they want to do. Like they'll go pick some guy in the third round and they'll be fine. But we can go Golden. I got overruled. I just think that that's not going to happen.
Oh, it's just too damn bad, dude. Have you ever seen holes? Keep digging.
Too damn bad. Pick 23 is the Green Bay Packers.
It's Jahdae Barron.
It's probably Jahdae Barron.
We still Barron.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess we don't really need to discuss it that much.
Do they have Jair?
They tried to trade him.
They're trying to trade him, which is concerning, by the way, that they tried to trade him and it didn't work. Very odd. All right, pick 24. The Minnesota Vikings. The Aaron Jones thing kind of scares me, but I still think there's a chance they take a running back here. I mean, I really do think that that's a possibility. Defense is probably where they actually go. They probably grab like a Minoware or something, or Starks. Starks is available. But I could definitely see them going running back. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think they go O-line, personally. I don't know what's left. Simmons.
They just signed both of the Colts guys, so
Yeah, which I mean that's not necessarily a good thing,
Yeah, I was going to say, I still don't recognize a single name on their offensive line.
but they could go Simmons, but I don't know.
I don't know. Is Brian O'Neill any good? Never heard his name before. Right there, right tackle.
I do not know of him.
Okay, so I feel like they go tackle and go Justin Simmons or Josh Simmons. But I'm okay with easy going here too. I mean,
yeah. I'm getting Jonathan Allen was sick. Rondale Moore going here was sick. I don't know. I think it's defensive back still. If you want a Montewarri, I'd go there, or Trey Amos.
I was hoping he'd make it to the Eagles, but that's fine.
Nope, you don't get what you want. Sorry.
Montewarri it is. To the max.
Unfortunate. All right, next pick is the Houston Texans, who have shredded their entire offensive line. So I'm going to pick Josh Simmons, and I don't think they should think about it.
I feel like they still go wide receiver, but Josh Simmons makes the most sense. Their offensive line is just.
I do think they will pick up a wide receiver in this draft. I don't know if it'll be yet.
Yeah, no, it's fair. They addressed it in free agency at least, or via trade with Christian Kirk. Yeah, tackle makes sense. I'd say Josh Simmons probably makes the most sense.
If Simmons is there, we'll take him, but could be Burden. could be
Burden?
Burden. Could be Igabuka.
I think, Ibuka too. I guess it kind of depends where the draft falls. I just feel like the way ours fell, that's how I would think they should go.
No.
Yeah, I think Luther Burden and Ibuka both get drafted by now as well too, but they're coming up. The Los Angeles Rams, you're on the clock.
The Rams have fared fairly well through this offseason. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean it was a strange way of getting there. They just held on to people more so than anything. Obviously got Devontae Adams, but that was just a replacement as well. So I feel like wide receiver could be in play here. I mean, I don't see them doing it, but it should be a conversation at the very least. Just because it is Devontae and Puka and pretty much no one else. I know Whittington and Atwell played well, but they're not long-term answers by any means. More than likely, though, I mean, tight end should be on the board. I mean, we still got, what's his face, Colson Loveland, just hanging out on the board.
True. That is true.
I think they go defensive back. I mean, you got Hairston, who was fast as hell. Trey Amos was solid. Revel's still there.
Any of those guys sound good to me.
We want to make a decision?
Defensive back. Let's go into the cornerbacks.
Okay.
Harrison's not bad. Revel's not bad. Thomas isn't bad either. Revel's coming off an injury.
Hairston?
Yeah, let's go Harrison.
I just.
All right, we have a question on the YouTube. I'll bring it up real quick. I got the opportunity to trade Drake London for JMO and a 2027 top 3 first. Thoughts? This is from Jacob on YouTube.
Nope. Keep JMO in the third. Wait, you're trading Drake London?
Trading Drake London for JMO in the third.
Completely opposite. Yes,
How do you
do
know
it.
it's going to be a top 3 pick in 2020?
That I'm a little interested in.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the 2027. No, never mind. Absolutely not. Keep Drake London.
Yeah, I'd keep Drake London. He had some big games with, God, I'm blanking on his name, quarterback.
Penix.
Yeah,
I'm
Penix.
sorry. I botched that.
Games with Penix at the end of that one.
So, I mean, I like the idea of it, and 2027 is going to be a huge, massive draft for fantasy football. So, I understand the thought process there if you're guaranteed top 3, but I don't know. I feel like I would just take the Drake London for now and then see if maybe we can circle back to this
Or see if
next
you can get a pick
offseason.
this year. Like, I mean, obviously they're trading a first round in 2 years for a reason, whether they don't have any or they don't want to give one away. So I don't love the 2027 first round pick. Anything can happen in 2 years.
I just don't
Even
know
if
how
they're
it's gonna be a top three. I mean, JMO's awesome, but we'll see what happens with Ben Johnson not in there. I would just take Drake London.
Yeah, I'd
yeah.
probably just keep
I
Drake
love
London for
JMO and I
now.
don't like Drake London, but you got to keep Drake London in this scenario. So I think I'm the best option for this.
Probably so. All right. Pick 27 is the Baltimore Ravens. Kind of a little bit of a luxury here, even though they probably need to start looking at defense. This is a really good, easy spot, I think, for us. But what are you guys thinking?
I think easy, and I think Burden could go here as well. I don't think it's like they don't need it by any means. But like you said, it's kind of a luxury spot. I know they just got Hopkins, and I know they have wide receivers on this roster, but they could take Burden and just be like, "We'll take it for the future."
Yeah. Derek Harmon,
Oh,
also a pretty good pick for them.
wait, we
Derek
still got
Harmon
Loveland on the
also.
board too, right? What if they
Yeah.
just like said, "Get out of here, Mark Andrews"?
It sounds like they're bringing him back now. So
I just feel
I
like
know.
they would have done it by now if they were going to do it. Like, if they had actually done it, I'd be like, yeah, this is a good Loveland spot.
Mark
But
Andrews could be a draft day trade.
definitely. I would be interested in that draft day.
Yeah, I think probably Michael Williams makes sense too here. Edge rusher.
I would
Easy
say
works
something
too.
in the trenches because that's Baltimore. I mean,
I think Derek Harmon. I think that's a great pick for
let's
them.
go with it.
Derek Harmon it is.
Yeah, it
All
sounds
right.
like
Lions are on the clock next. I know edge rusher would be the good pick. They wanted to pick up Myles Garrett to put across from Aiden Hutchinson, so this could be an easy spot. Hear me out though. What if they put Luther Burden in the slot? I know that they have Amon Ra there, but what if they use two gadget players? Put JMO on the outside. I don't know. I think that could be interesting at least.
well, they brought Tim Patrick back, so I mean, they
Yeah,
have their three guys. I
legend.
mean, Tim Patrick was no. Don't get me wrong. I do love Tim Patrick, but he was really good for the Lions. I mean, as a third. And then you still got Laporta. I just don't think that that's their need. I think that this is a wide receiver later situation. While it would be super fun to get Burden there and just be like double down, like, hey, we're a good offense, let's just go for it. I really feel like it's got to be edge. They tried so hard to go after edge rushers, didn't get anything. I think I originally had Scourton here, but I also had Easy gone and Michael Williams. I think one of those three goes here. Shores up
Really
someone
had
next to
Easy
Hutchinson.
going to Baltimore and Mike Cal going to Detroit. So, do we go with the size or the speed?
I'd say size because you already got Hutchinson, who kind of has both.
I feel like the Lions are a size kind of team.
Let's go easy, man.
Easy it is.
Easy.
Seems like a Lions always draft people with the wildest names too. So,
All right, pick 29 is the Commanders, who have somewhat addressed their wide receiver position. But I think this is Starks. I don't think Starks makes it past them. They need a safety badly.
yeah, I could get behind that. I was originally thinking like edge in general, but that defense needs to be boosted up so hard. I think I actually got to go Michael Williams personally.
I had Zabel going here just because, I mean, you got Jaden, keep him upright. He can play pretty much every position.
Offensive line is not a terrible idea either.
True.
They went really veteran heavy, which seems really weird for this team. Like it should be a young roster, not a veteran heavy team. Like sure they made it far in the playoffs, but you had glaring holes. You got to
You
fill
need a
them.
running back.
They're not going to go. I think they'll wait on running
I
back.
was gonna say Eckler's still on the team too. They just signed back McNichols and Brian Robinson. I think they're fully fine trotting out the same running backs. They shouldn't be, but I think they're fully fine to trot out.
I do think they pick one up, but I don't think it'll
Yeah,
be
sure.
for like the 5th, 6th round, probably.
Yeah. Going edge, tackle?
I guess so. Are we gonna have Starks fall out of the first round?
There's no way.
Is that gonna happen here?
If he makes it to the Eagles, he's going there. So don't worry.
Well, that's what I'm afraid you're doing with the mock draft, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that's gonna happen in real life.
I do think. Did you not watch last year's draft? Everything fell to the Eagles.
Yeah, but Starks is like a top 20 guy, and we have him going at the last pick in the first round.
You still have Luther Burden and Egbuka on the thing too, and both of them are getting drafted in the first round.
There's no way he's falling this far.
I don't think so either, but he might, I guess.
Okay, you guys really just want the Eagles to have Starks. That's fine. He's gonna be a fill.
No, I mean,
going to the Raiders.
Did you see?
I think he's getting picked a long time ago.
Did you see what team he played?
To be honest,
played for Georgia. The Eagles signed Georgia players. It's just a thing.
I mean, Michael Williams is still available. I was about to say they're still here.
Actually, decently, but
all right. Pick 30 is the Buffalo Bills. They need defense. I do think that is something we can all say. I would probably pick Walter Nolan or Michael Williams, but I'm a hear me out kind of guy. What do you think?
There's no way Egbuka makes it past there. Josh Palmer, Keon Coleman, and Khalil Shakir are not there, and Curtis Samuel are not their wide receivers they're rolling out.
See, the problem I have with that is they clearly don't give a bleep about the wide receiver position. I thought the same thing. They clearly don't care.
That much. They can still draft a late first rounder. It's not like they traded up for him.
Well, they traded out of the first round last year, missed on Worthy. Like, I think they wouldn't.
They missed on Worthy.
Draft.
He was fine.
Well, I mean, they drafted Coleman, and he was basically useless. I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't think now is the time that they're like, you know what? I think we're gonna go wide receiver now. I think they're just like, no, we'll just do what we did last year.
Dude, they are so dead at cornerback, and they just shipped their first round pick from 2 years ago to the Cowboys. I mean, I think it's got to be one of the cornerbacks, but
I don't think it's edge.
I'd hear Nolan because Nolan deserves to be picked by now too.
I could see interior defensive line, but I don't see edge because Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau, and they still got AJ Epinesa, and they picked up Hoyt and Ogunjobi. So Darius Alexander's fun. Corner does make sense. I actually see this as a good safety. Oh, did they get DeMar Hamlin back? I thought they. I
don't think so.
Currently says he's signed here.
But I mean, I still need a cornerback either way. But
well, I was thinking safety. I could see Starks not making it past this as well if that was the case. But
yeah, that's true.
I think we're at a loss. Where would Siobhan Rebel go if he was healthy? If he wasn't coming off that injury?
Well, he probably would go here if he was completely healthy. I don't know. They could still take him. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, I mean,
he was gonna be very highly touted this year. So like he was gonna be this year's Quinyon Mitchell. So I think that would be.
Go Rebel.
I could take him. Yeah, go.
It could be for the future. You know what I mean? It's not a hey right now post, but
definitely not. I mean, they are drafting talent. All right, on to the Chiefs, who desperately need O-line, but I see with Walter Nolan sitting there, it's going to be hard for me to think they don't go Walter Nolan.
Yeah, but we have Egbuka and Burden sitting here. Do they not think about it with all the trauma and drama that they have with their wide receivers?
It's another team I don't think cares about wide receivers. I just don't think they do.
They did bring Hollywood Brown back. They let Hopkins
Rice back.
They get Rashee Rice back. That's fair.
He plays differently from the other two.
I think Burden would be a sick pick for them, personally. But I do agree that they have their core that they think is good. But I don't know. Walter Nolan's super great with me as well because they definitely need something on that D line.
What about Trevion Henderson?
I think they add a running back for sure, but I don't know if they do it again. They did the Edwards-Helaire thing once, and
if they didn't bring back Kareem Hunt, I'd probably say yeah for sure. But I think they're going to do the committee nonsense with.
They also brought Elijah Mitchell in too, so it almost tips their hand that they're not going for that.
Let's go Walter.
No, the Chiefs straight up, like, if I can be honest, they really kind of are pissing me off. Like, I think they think this is all a joke. But, like, y'all are potentially wasting Patrick Mahomes here. Like, let's be realistic for just 1 second. Like,
3 Super Bowls with him already? Like, wasted?
he did. And the window is wide open. Like, let's not shut it by drafting dumb. Like, let's be real. Like, their drafts have not been great. They just happen to have Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's their answer to every single thing.
They didn't deserve to be in the playoffs last year, much less the Super Bowl.
No. Like, I don't know. This is just, it's going to frustrate me because it's like, how long do y'all think this joke can go on? Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Pick 32 is the Eagles. It's kind of a luxury at this point. They could even go wide receiver here. I mean, if they really wanted to.
They got Dotson. I think they're actually fine with Dotson. There was no rumors of him getting rid of him or anything.
All right, so hear me out, Josh. Like, I know that defense is probably where they're headed. If Colson Loveland is sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
If Colson Loveland's sitting there.
I actually think they're going to try to
it's going to be hard for me to believe they don't go for him. Like, he would be just icing on the cake for them.
Colson
with
Loveland's
the rumors,
exactly who I have. So
yeah,
it would make so much sense.
With the rumors of Goddard trades, I actually think they're going to try to trade up and get Warren. Personally, I think there's a chance that they go for Warren. But maybe it is Loveland. Maybe Loveland does slip to 25, 26, and they trade up for that because they got like 4 or 5 fifth-round picks right now. Easily do some weird trade pick swapping because Howie Roseman's a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff, or really all the stuff. But yeah, I kind of forgot we haven't picked Loveland. Yeah, I had him long gone by now. So
I mean, defense does make sense. I get it, but like, man, Colson Loveland's right there. Like, that would be hard for them to pass up. I feel like if he's there.
No, yeah, I don't think he makes it that far, but I could see them trading up for it at the very least.
All right, Josh, do you want to do the honors?
Let's run through it here. Number 1, Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward. Browns go Abdul Carter right after. Giants get Shadur Sanders, and Travis Hunter goes to the Patriots. Jaguars at 5 go Mason Graham. Genty Raiders at 6. Armand Membu to the Jets at 7. Jalen Walker goes to the Panthers. Saints grab Shamar Stewart. The Bears get Kelvin Banks because Ashton Genty's gone. And Will Campbell goes to the 49ers to deal with that aging line. Marion Hampton, for some reason, goes to the Cowboys at 12 because Jerry Jones is a genius. Will Johnson, Miami Dolphins at 13. Tyler Warren to the Colts. James Pierce at 15 to the Falcons. Kenneth Grant to the Cardinals. Mike Green at 17 goes to the Bengals. Tyler Booker to the Seahawks. Jihad Campbell goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ted McMillan finally stops the slip and goes to the Broncos at 20. Jackson Dart goes to the Steelers to start the next Kenny Pickett scenario. Matthew Golden goes to the Chargers. Jahdae Barron to the Packers at 23. The Vikings get Nick Amenwari. And then Josh Simmons to the Texans at 25. Maxwell Hairston goes to the Rams. It's a corner, in case you're wondering, because I was. Baltimore Ravens, Derek Harmon. Lions, Donovan Easy. I'm not even going to try again. And the Commanders get Malachi Starks, Siobhan Revel to the Bills at 30, and Walter Nolan to the Chiefs. And for some reason, the Eagles get Colson Loveland.
That'd be beautiful.
Don't even hate it. Love everything about it.
I just, like, I think this is a good one. I do. I think this is the one that could actually happen, theoretically.
Yeah, it's pretty damn close. I mean, we had a couple people I think that don't make the slip that far, or maybe they do. I'm kind of just like on this place where, like, Ted McMillan doesn't slip that far, right? Right?
He does.
The problem is with these wide receivers is, like, I think what happened in free agency made me think that people aren't really wanting to go for wide receiver ones in this draft. They're wanting to, go out and get decent to okay pieces to add to an already thriving offense.
You still got Diggs and Amari Cooper and someone else I'm not thinking of right now, just floating around out there.
Hopkins. Wait, did Hopkins get signed?
Hopkins went to Baltimore.
Oh, he missed the Ravens right now. We've already talked about that.
Right, which is like, I don't know.
Diggs is coming off an injury, though, so that makes sense. But Cooper's sitting there just kind of wild.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't just incredible. The Bills just don't know how to use wide receivers,
Is Deontay Johnson still on the Ravens, by the way? Like, I know they had his rights or whatever.
They traded him, right? Or they
No.
got rid of him?
They dropped him, and then they picked him up after waivers during the playoffs, and he couldn't play on the team, but he was on their team, so he couldn't sign with anyone else either. That's one person I'd be really interested in and trying to acquire in fantasy or in Dynasty is just because nobody wants him anymore. Like pretty much, we've already seen a year and a half of just disaster, and I feel like he's a throw-in on trades. So if you're ever trading with someone who has Deontay Johnson, just try to throw him in that trade and see what happens. I don't know if it'll be
Keenan
good.
Allen was the other one you're thinking of, Joe.
No, it is.
It's Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett are like the big ones that are still left.
Yeah, all is
need
as long
teams.
as I think all four of them go to contenders too, or at least three of them.
Probably so. Yeah, I don't think this draft's very good for wide receivers, and I think that I have not felt great about them for a while now.
I love.
It's going to be a good running back draft, but wide receiver wise, I think there's going to be 2 in the first round for sure, maybe 3. Not counting Travis Hunter, obviously.
I think everybody hates Ted McMillan for some reason. I think he adds a.
I think the problem is when you watch his tape, he's a jump ball specialist, which is like that's a good thing to have, but you just need that for specific things.
Lots of teams that need jump ball specialists is my thing. There's not a lot of jump ball wide receivers in the league anymore. I mean, Hopkins is one of them, and he wasn't even used one last year.
They didn't work. Like Treylon Burks, for example, he would have been a perfect jump ball guy. And
He's supposed to be other things, to be fair.
He will be good.
Yeah, one of these
I
days.
did get him from you a couple times, or like at least thought about throwing some trades out there for him.
He's done.
Quentin Johnson, I feel like, is the like horror story for Ted McMillan. Like that I think is what people are scared of.
That's the bar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, that's worse. That's
stoked
worst
about
case.
that. I'll take him in Dynasty. Honestly, I think I have the 104. I think I'll be taking Ted McMillan there.
At 104.
It depends on what the running backs are going.
That's true. Yeah, landing spots are going to mean quite a bit, I think, for this one. All right. Well, that's what we have. Next week, we're doing breakout players, which is always a fun draft or a fun podcast every time we do the breakouts for 2025. Now that free agency's wrapped up, take a pause on the draft content and go with that.
We'll be back, though. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We have plenty of draft content coming up. Still have a whole other mock draft to go in April, so that, something to look forward to there. All right. Joe, get us out of here.
Good night.